Также бессовестно, двулично они вели себя, разрушая Югославию, Ирак, Ливию, Сирию. От этого позора никогда им не отмыться. Понятие чести, доверия, порядочности не для них. За долгие века колониализма, диктата, гегемонии они привыкли, что им все позволено. Привыкли плевать на весь мир. Оказалось, что также пренебрежительно, по-господски они относятся и к народам своих собственных стран. Их-то они ведь тоже цинично обманули баснями или обманывали баснями о поиске мира, о приверженности резолюциям Совета Безопасности ООН по Донбассу. Действительно, западные элиты превратились в символ тотальной, беспринципной лжи.
This is my first video update from Athens, Greece on this Tuesday afternoon. Let's talk about Putin's speech to the Federal Assembly, a kind of State of the Nation speech that Putin gave just a couple of hours ago. And we are going to put up a video on the Duran, me and Alexander. We kind of break down that speech in detail, so I'm not going to get into too much of the details of the speech. I thought it was an excellent speech, very typical Putin speech, very professional. He was very confident, very calm. He had a good control, a good grasp of the facts and the history, the numbers as he was talking about the Russian economy. And I thought it was just all around a very well-structured, well-delivered speech. He spoke for about an hour and 30 minutes. And I also thought it was an upbeat type of speech. I mean, given all the circumstances and everything that's going on, Putin kind of gave a very optimistic, a hopeful view of things for Russia. And he did spend a lot of time on the speech talking about the state of Russia, the social, economic, domestic issues. He did talk a lot about that, which is to be expected. It is a State of the Union address. He did talk a lot about the special military operation as well, and he talked a lot about how the U.S., the collective West, he used the word West, how the West continuously lied about the Minsk agreements and stuff like that, and how they misled Russia. So he got into that as well, making the case that Russia was indeed provoked into this conflict, and he did make a very good case. He also drew on history, a lot of history, to make that case as well. And he kind of let the Russian people know that, look, you know, we've been through this before, and we're just going to have to go through this again, and we'll get through it. And contrast Putin's delivery and this speech with the speeches of Biden or Ursula or any of these other collective West leaders, and you see such a huge difference in confidence and approach and professionalism. You know, Putin isn't sitting there and delivering a speech and acting hysterical and talking about how this leader must go or that leader must go, Biden must go or Ursula must go, or we need regime change here, regime change there. He's not. He doesn't stoop to that level, and he's not getting hysterical when he delivers his speeches like Biden. You know, Biden will whisper and then he'll ramp up his tone, like he did during the State of the Union with Xi Jinping, and he just kind of went off into this weird, bizarre, kind of hysterical rant about how no one wants to be the Chinese leader and stuff like that. I mean, you don't see that from Putin, and I just think the contrast is pretty striking, to be quite honest. You know, if someone didn't know what was what was going on in the world, and you showed them Putin speaking on one side, and then you showed them Biden or Ursula talking about the Russian economy in tatters on the other side, you know, the person would be like, well, this guy's clearly the winner, and and these guys over here talking about the economy in tatters, and no one wants to be like Xi Jinping. These guys are a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. You know, I mean, it's just the way when you contrast the body language and the demeanor and the rhetoric between all these leaders and their style and approach. It's night and day, I'm telling you, absolutely night and day. So that was the speech from Putin. He is definitely not ill. He's definitely not sick. He's very sharp up here, very sharp. He has all the numbers down. When he talks about building schools, he actually gives the number of schools that the Russians are going to build. When he talks about building roads, he talks about all the roads that are going to be built from this city to that city. I mean, he's got all the information, you know, just bam. He's got it all down. And he doesn't look like a president that, according to the collective West, is losing a conflict in Ukraine. He doesn't look like that at all. Now contrast him with Zelensky, who's making bizarre comments like, if China sides with Russia, then we're going to have World War III and stuff like that. And well, I think it's clear what's really going on with this conflict. But the one big announcement that Putin made was that Russia is going to be suspending. They're not going to leave the START treaty, but they are going to be putting it on hold, which is the Strategic Arms Treaty. So that was a big announcement that Putin made at the end of the speech. And he basically says that because he made the case throughout the hour and a half long speech that, you know, the collective West just can't be trusted. He never says a name. He never says Biden can't be trusted. He doesn't say Ursula can't be trusted. He doesn't get to that level. He just says the West. The West just deceives and lies to us, and they can't be trusted. And so there's no reason to continue on with the Strategic Arms Treaty. So that was a big deal. That was a big announcement. And yeah. So what else should we talk about? So I'm going to make this video a quick one. Zelensky was talking about China and how China shouldn't align with Russia, or else we're going to get World War III. And then Blinken was giving China the United States' red lines, and that if China delivers lethal aid to lethal weapons to Russia, well, then it would cross the U.S. red lines. And China responded to Blinken and to all of these threats and warnings. And China said, we don't take kindly to warnings. We don't answer to warnings. We're a sovereign nation, and we're going to do whatever we want. And then Wang Yi got in a plane and he traveled to Moscow. and that was the response. So I think you kind of have the Chinese response to all of these red line warnings from Blinken and Linda Thomas Greenfield, the U.S. ambassador to the UN, and all of these characters warning China not to provide weapons to Russia or else. And then Wang Yi tells them to buzz off, and he gets on a plane and travels to Moscow. And he's preparing the way for Xi Jinping, who's also going to be traveling to Russia, and they're going to have a big meeting, Russia and China. Well done, Joe Biden. Well done. What an epic miscalculation from the Biden White House, bringing Russia and China into what really is an alliance. They may not say it's an alliance, but that's what it is. A big mess up from the Biden White House, but they're singularly focused on Ukraine. They're obsessed with Ukraine, and they can't see the world around them. So Biden touched down in Poland. He met with Duda. I saw the video of Biden getting out of his car to greet Duda, and he shakes Duda's hand, and they exchange pleasantries, but no hugs. No long hugs, which is very different than how leaders treat Zelensky. It seems like all of the world leaders, whenever they meet Zelensky, they want to hug the guy. I mean, all of them. They want to hug Zelensky. Take a look at these screenshots from these publications, these front page screenshots that I'm going to put up from these publications, and you can see Biden like just absolutely all hands on Zelensky. Macron is also very touchy-feely with Zelensky. Whenever Ursula sees Zelensky, she's hugging him, and all the world leaders, you know, they really like to grab Zelensky. I never quite understand why, but anyway, I just thought that was funny, just to lighten things up a little bit. The optics, sometimes the optics and the body language is interesting to observe, you know. Like Putin's speech, you can see his body language, very confident, very calm, very relaxed, very much in command of the situation, and just put together. And then you see someone like Zelensky, and you're like, this guy's, you know, falling apart, and all of these world leaders are like hugging him and grabbing him, and he's like crying on their shoulders. I don't even know. It's just weird optics. But the body language of Joe Biden when he was in Ukraine and the optics there were also kind of interesting. You know, you could see that Biden felt very much at home in Ukraine. After all, it was the country where he was first president from 2014 to 2016. That was Biden's first go at being president of a country, was Ukraine. So he felt at home, and you could see that he was the guy that was sitting at the desk. And Zelensky's like off to the side, waiting for Biden to sign some stuff. You know, it's like who's in charge here? Is it Biden or is it Zelensky? And then when they're sitting down together, you can see Biden is like all slouched on the one chair. You know, he's just kind of all you know, tired and slouched over on the one chair. And Zelensky's sitting on the chair next to Biden. He looks like a kid on a high chair. He looks like a little kid on a big chair, just kind of, you know, scrunched together. You can just tell the body language of those photos. It's just a photo, and it just captures one moment, but still, the optics are pretty funny when you take a look at those pictures. Anyway, I'm gonna end this video, and I'm gonna end it early. I don't want to do too long of a video today. Let's do a clown world, and we'll wrap things up. And I was going to talk about Sean Penn because Sean Penn made some pretty weird comments the other day. Something like, if Ukraine loses, then we're going to head into World War or something like that. But I'm not going to pick on Sean Penn any longer. Biden got a plaque in Kiev as well. he got a star on the Walk of Fame in Kiev, Joe Biden. Oh man, that's not a good sign. The Zelensky curse is coming after Biden, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. And how about those air raid sirens, huh? Man, oh man. They really think that we're stupid, don't they? There was a CNN reporter who came on to CNN. He was in Ukraine, and he's like, I've been here for 5 days and I haven't heard one air raid siren. And then when Biden like walks through the courtyard with Zelensky, the air raid sirens go off. I mean, like, who are you trying to fool, man? Who are you trying to fool?
I've been here for the past 5 days. I have not heard any explosions. I have not heard any air sirens until about half an hour ago, right when President Biden was in the center of Kiev, as Clarissa was just mentioning.
And then you have this Babylon Bee article, and the Babylon Bee nails it. Satire, but they nail it. And they have Hunter Biden on the phone. The title says, Hunter asks Dad to pick up his paycheck as long as he's in Kiev. Told you, bad idea for Biden to go to Kiev. The optics are absolutely terrible. Really bad for Biden. Anyway, the clown world. How about Japan? Japan cordons off beach due to a mystery ball. Police are investigating a large spherical object that reportedly washed up on the beach. So we don't have balloons in the air anymore. They're washing up on the beach, or spherical balls at least are washing up on the beaches now. We've become obsessed with spherical objects. Anyway, that's the clown world. I'll leave it there. TheDuran.locals.com. We are on Rockfin as well. And go to the Duran shop, 10% off. Use the code GOODDAY. I think I could cross. Take care.